All right, so you have all your footage filmed and you're ready to capture the footage. This is how it works. The first thing you need to do is log in. The password is Ekko. There we go. And now we have our camera here, and each of the iMacs have a capture cable. So we're going to plug this into the right side of the camera. There's a flap here that I have opened up, and we're going to go ahead and plug this in like that. Open up our viewfinder. We're going to power on the camera. You know how that works. And then there's a button here. We're going to click this button right here to connect to the computer. And now on this little screen here, select the memory for connection. We're going to go with built-in memory. We're going to push that, built-in memory. And now we have USB connection. And now we're going to go into Final Cut Pro 10. If iPhoto opens up, you're going to quit out iPhoto. And we're going to open up Final Cut Pro. Okay, so now you are in Final Cut Pro. So the first thing you're going to do whenever you start a new project is you're going to go to File, New, and Event. And then you're going to name your event. I'm just going to call this Example Package. And click OK. And then as you can see over here in the event browser, it now exists, so you can click it. And then over here, inside events, events contain projects and video clips. So here's our project inside the event, and I'm going to give it the same name. You can always do that. So I'm going to again call it Example Package. Now the next thing you want to do is bring your video into the computer. You're going to import it, clicking the Import button. And then here's our media import window, and these are the clips. You can scroll up and down here. And I know I want all of these clips, so I'm going to select all of them. Another thing you can do is you can select your first clip and then hold the Shift key and select your last clip, and everything in between will be selected. So with that being said, let's select these. And then I'm going to make sure that these are going to the event that I just created, Example Package. So I will click Import Selected. Up here is a little progress meter here. This little pie chart is filling up. You can click that for more information. So importing media, there's 14 clips. Gonna wait for that to tick up to 100%. And there we go. We get a notification in the upper right, import complete. You can click close. And now before I start editing, the first thing I want to do is I want to disconnect my camera. So I'm going to click the red X in the upper left. And then up here, just like a flash drive, here's the camera. I'm going to right click it and then left click Eject Canon. And now once we did that, we can safely disconnect the USB cable from the camera. We're going to pull that out. And then the last thing you need to do is you need to shut off your camera. So we'll shut it off, and we're good to go. From this point, you then can go back into Final Cut Pro, and you can begin your editing. And then we're going to make sure we're under our package we want. I'm under my example package, and here's my project name here, example package. That's what I want to see. So the next thing we're going to do is the easiest way to edit news packages in Final Cut is to put down black video right here on our storyline. So right here is the generator tab. We're going to click that, and we are going to select custom. This is all black, so I'm going to drag this down to the timeline. Click OK. So typically packages are anywhere between 2 minutes and 15 seconds and 3.5 minutes. So I'm just going to set this at about 3 minutes here. Now I'm going to go back to my video clips up here by clicking this little clapperboard. So in order to write my voiceover script, I'm going to need to play back my video clips. So by selecting them and hitting spacebar, you can play and pause.
Kind words. My wife...
So to make this clip bigger and easier to work with, I can click up here, and now this whole clip is right up here, and I have it stretched out a little bit more. Now you can set in and out points to bring part of a clip down to the timeline. So I'm going to look for a soundbite, and I'm going to set an in and out point, and then bring it down to the timeline.
About 10 years ago, I got an idea for a sucker that was a little bit different than an average run-of-the-mill sucker.
And the letter O for an out point. Now as you can see, I put a yellow bracket around this portion. Now I can drag this down to the timeline and put it wherever I would like. I can go back to my other view from before to view my clips. So I want to start my package with a Nat Sound B-roll clip. Here Roger Dumb is crinkling his bag. Let's set an in point and an out point. I for in, O for out. Then I can drag this down to my timeline, and I'm going to start the package with this Nat Sound B-roll clip. We always want to start our packages starting with 10 seconds of black. So as you can see, right up here, I'm 10 seconds in, so I'm going to start my clips right there.
Yeah, well...
From there, I'm just kind of looking for different sound bites, and I'm dragging them down to the timeline to help me build my voiceover script. Again, I can select my interview clip, and I can set it to this view, which makes it larger and easier to see. Let me find another sound bite.
Growing up with the last name of Dumb, you can imagine the teasing that I got as a kid. So I thought, rather than be traumatized over that over my whole life, let's just use it for fun.
O for out. There's a nice sound bite. Let's bring it down to the timeline. You're welcome to type your voiceover scripts right on these iMac computers, and we have a printer here that you can print to in the Ekko editing area. Let's go back to the film strip view, and let's look at a couple other B-roll shots that we might want to bring down to the timeline. Here's a clip I might want to use. I'll use the letter I for in, O for out. O for out, and I'll bring that down to the timeline, and that might help me create my script. With that being said, let's now go ahead and record our voice. All right, it is now time to record your voiceover. I am in Mr. Larson's office computer area. As you can see, we have a little bit of soundproofing in this room, so this would be the best area for you to record your voiceover. I have my camera here, and I have my handheld microphone. That's the one I would recommend for doing your voiceover. As we know, this plugs into external, so make sure our switch is set to external. Also, it's always very important that you plug in headphones, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have my script typed out and printed, so I'll hit record on my camera. Check, check, check. And I'm going to go through and read my voiceover. Somewhere among them, there exists just the right one. A man with an unfortunate name. And maybe I'll screw up a line and try it again. Or I think I could do better. A man with an unfortunate name. Despite the name of the product. I'm going to try that again. Despite the name of the product. So basically, as you can see, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to read my voiceover script. When I'm done, I'll stop record and capture to the computer, and you already know how that's done.